Pills do not cure anxiety, and the longer that I've been working as a psychiatrist, the more I'm convinced of this. In order to understand how to fix the anxiety, you need to understand why it's happening. Our brains are fit for an environment that is dangerous and hostile. In the conditions of a dangerous and hostile environment, anxiety is extremely useful. For probably most of human history, we have been at constant threat of packs of wolves and neighboring tribes, and perhaps most dangerous of all is losing the support of our own tribe. And so for most of human history, it was extremely beneficial for us to be hyper aware of the judgments of others, the people around us. Because if we step on the wrong toes, we might get stabbed in the back or kicked out of our tribe and left to survive on our own, likely to starve to death. Extreme anxiety about other people's judgments was very useful. It's probably what has kept our ancestors alive for so long. But something recently in human history has occurred. We no longer live in a hostile environment. The most dangerous thing that you encounter every day is maybe some cigarettes or the donut that you bought from the gas station. So your brain is fit for an environment that doesn't match the situation. You have all this anxiety that is literally a complete waste. It's so inappropriate that anxiety is now considered a disease. It doesn't help you to live longer. It doesn't do anything for you other than ruin your life. For all of human history, we have run away from the packs of wolves or the neighboring tribes, or we have stood and faced them with the spears held high above our heads. The thing is that since there's no neighboring tribes or packs of wolves, the things that we're afraid of now are phantoms. They're not real. I was exposed to a study that showed that people who have anxiety were listing out all the things they're worried about happening. And then they followed these people for an extended period of time, and they kept track of how many things that they worried about actually occurred. And it was basically none of them. Like far over 90% of the things never happened that they were afraid of. They didn't exist. There was no neighboring tribe. It was a phantom. They were afraid of nothing. The Australian frilled lizard, also known as the frillneck lizard, is a lizard that puffs out an umbrella around its neck to try and appear intimidating and large. It then stands up on its hind legs and runs at you at full speed. Now, our natural inclination as humans, or as mammals, or as animals, or anything else, is if something large is running at you at full speed, it's going to eat you. And so running away is the right thing to do. That is what this lizard is trying to trigger inside of its potential predators. And as long as you run, it will chase. However, if you face the lizard and growl at it, it will retract its umbrella neck, turn around, and run away as fast as possible, slithering on the ground. Your fears, these phantoms, are very much like the frillneck lizard of Australia. You're running away from a tiny, scrawny little lizard that really can't do much to hurt you. If you turn and you growl and you stand your ground, that lizard will turn tail and run. And this is what humans have been doing for perhaps all of human history. We run or we fight. Knowing when to run and when to fight is what is vital in our survival. It's just as vital a million years ago as it is today. Sometimes, if you run, your enemy will chase you down and you will lose your life. In this case, the enemy is a phantom. It's not even something real. It's never going to happen. You're being chased by shadows. And because it's a shadow, it can run forever. It can chase you for your entire life. You will never escape these fears because they exist in your own mind. This means you will never be free until you face that frillneck lizard of Australia and you make it run away. Pills will not make your fears go away. You have to be more afraid of living a life in fear than the things that you're afraid about. And this means you're going to have to learn something from your ancestors. And this is how to go to war. With every emotion, there is a facial expression. There is a position of the eyebrows. There is a position of the shoulders, of the arms. There is a pattern of breathing, and there's a pattern of thought. Fear and anxiety has a certain pattern to it. Everything is in and scrunched up. Your arms come in like this to protect your vital organs. You breathe fast and shallow like this. And you think about all the bad things that might happen to you. That's the body posture that you need to protect yourself to run away. But we've established this is no neighboring tribe. This is a scrawny little lizard. This is a shadow. This is nothing. This is a ghost. This is a phantom. This will never happen. The things that you're afraid of aren't going to happen, and that makes them not real. Imaginary things can run forever, and they will never go away until you declare war against them. This means that you're going to have to resume a new body posture. The body posture of going to war. Your ancestors did this every time they had to go into battle. Their faces had become ferocious. Their eyebrows drawn up on the sides, a snarl on their face. They would growl and roar. They'd raise their spear, their arms high above their heads, and they would shout. Their breathing becomes fast and deep. They are no longer running away. They are ready to fight. It is time to fight, and it's time for you to fight. Stop being chased by that skinny little lizard. Stop being controlled by the fears of things that aren't going to happen to you. Because the only thing that's likely to happen to you is that you will live your entire life paralyzed by fear. A life of regret and misery. Be afraid of that, not whether or not people are judging you. Because in reality, you don't live in a tribe anymore. You don't need people to accept you. It doesn't matter if they like you anymore. You don't need them. There's enough people in this world that you'll be able to find people that like you. And they're more likely to like you if you're not obsessed with anxiety all the time. Their judgments can't hurt you. They can't kick you out of your tribe. You're not in a tribe anymore. This is not the society that we live in. You don't need their acceptance, so let go of it. Funny thing is, they're actually going to be more likely to accept you if you take this kind of mental attitude about things. Because you're more likely to genuinely be yourself, which makes you more fun, which makes people more likely to like you. Your anxiety does nothing for you, except for ruin your life. So turn around, raise the spear high above your head, growl, shout, and fight. This will take you out of anxiety mode, and it will put you into war mode. Once you've gotten out of anxiety mode, it is a lot easier to go into peace mode. Power mode just pulled you into a position where now you can relax. Now, stare straight forward, take a deep breath, relax all the muscles in your face and shoulders, and tell yourself everything is okay. You're gonna be just fine. You are safe. That little skinny lizard ran away. My last piece of advice is perhaps the most important. There are 3 zones in everything around you. There's your comfort zone, there's your growth zone, and there's your trauma zone. Your growth zone is also known as the uncomfortable zone or the anxious zone. This is the zone that you want to stay in most of the time. If you stay in comfort zone most of the time, your uncomfortable zone will grow. Your trauma zone will grow. If you stay in the uncomfortable zone or in the growth zone, it will actually shrink, and your trauma zone will shrink too. If going to the store makes you anxious, don't avoid the store. Go to the store. If getting in the car makes you anxious, don't avoid the car. That is your growth zone. Stay there until your brain learns that it's not actually in any serious danger. It will desensitize itself to the situation, and over time, that uncomfortable zone will turn into your comfort zone. If you don't have quite what you need to get there, then time to go to war. The one thing you must not do is run from tiny, skinny lizards, especially the kind that live in your own brain, because they will never stop. They will always chase you. You will never escape them. You can only face them and fight, and then they will flee from you. That is the only cure to anxiety, not a pill.